Hey folks, welcome back to the Acorn and Leaf podcast. Now, this episode is going to be a little different because Lynn was actually invited by our friends over to the Real Wood podcast for a laid-back chat about all things wood. They talked about why building with real wood just makes sense and how it's actually good for the planet. And they also shared some stories from the early days of Gastineau Log Homes. This conversation is honest, it's down to earth, and it's all about building something that lasts. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to the Acorn and Leaf podcast. Cue the music.
And welcome to Real Wood Matters, a real wood podcast where we discuss the ins and outs of the forest products industry, from forest management to home construction to furniture trends. On this episode, we have Lynn Gastineau, president of Gastineau Log Homes, ready to share her expertise on the forest products industry, legacy, and family businesses. Let's dive right in. Welcome, Lynn.
Oh, thank you very much.
We're so glad to have you. Tell me about the Gastineau Log Home story. How did it start and who started it?
Well, actually, I started the company back in 1977. I'd always loved construction and thought I wanted to be an architect, but instead I decided to design clothes. So I got a degree in fashion design and business, and then I moved to New York City. And while I was in New York, my family, who had a sawmill, and my father had started a sawmill before I was even born, they had people coming to them asking them to cut them logs for a log home. And they did a little research, and they discovered that the industry was really taking off. And so I came home for a visit, and they said, "You love construction. Why don't you start this log home company?" And it was as you can expect, also a ploy for my mother to get me home from New York City. But anyway, I came home, and I always say that I got in this industry because I love construction. I stay in this industry because I love log homes, because I have learned all the advantages of log homes and why people should live in log homes, and shared the experiences of so many people building their dream home that it has been an extremely rewarding industry to be involved in and to have this business.
Well, say more about that. Why should people live in log homes? I love them when I've been to them, but I would love to know what you think.
Well, how long do you have? One of the main reason people build a log home is just because of the look, the feel. I mean, when people walk into them, they just have this warm and cozy feeling. Mother Nature wrapping around her arms around you, and we hear that over and over and over again. People just love the way they look and the way they make them feel. I've had so many people tell me that after you've lived in a log home, you never want to live anything else. As far as other benefits, though, I mean, they always say people buy from emotion, but they justify it with reality. And the reality is with log homes is that first off is that they're very energy efficient. They're a very airtight home so that they are easy to heat and cool. Secondly, is in one of my favorite things is that they're extremely safe. I know we have many of our past customers that are alive today because they lived in a log home. We've had houses that have gone through direct hits by an F5 tornado. We've had people had their houses hit by hurricanes, earthquakes, everything you can imagine, fire. And they are by far the safest home you can live in. I had people that they literally, as I said, would be dead if they had been in a frame home because the log home saved their life.
Fascinating.
And so the safety factor to me is really, because that's really what a home is. You know, we think of homes of countertops and backsplashes and things like that, but really what it is to protect your family. And so if you can really protect your family, then that's really obviously very, very important. And then in addition, one of the things that I think, I've always felt that log homes are good for our environment, but some of the studies that have been done show that by using solid wood for anywhere in your home, that you are sequestering carbon, you're helping our environment, you're using a natural product that is made right here in the United States, and that is then and it has got a very good life cycle analysis. And so from an environmental standpoint, you're really doing something good for the planet if you use solid wood.
How long does a log home last? I don't even know.
Oh, hundreds of years.
Hundreds. That's what I figured.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So the carbon stays inside that house for as long as it remains a house.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's not just the log walls, but we use like beams for our second story floor systems. We use solid oak railings. We use for stairs. We use solid oak staircases. We use a solid oak trim. And then most people put in wood ceilings, and even some people do all wood on all their partition walls, hardwood flooring throughout most of the time. So it is, there's a lot of wood in one of our homes, and so there is a lot of carbon that's being sequestered and helping the planet.
Fantastic. And it looks beautiful.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, they are gorgeous.
Yeah.
How many members of your family work for Gastineau Log Homes?
Oh, there's just me and my daughter. The family had a sawmill and a pallet company, but that was always my dad and my brother, and they actually sold their business several years ago and retired. My brother did actually work for me for 7 years, and he said it's your world's worst nightmare, and you grew up and your little sister's your boss. But he was just biding time until his youngest got out of high school. But he still does a lot. He helps me a lot. He has a lot of the manufacturing machinery work for me. But anyway, it's just me and my daughter, and she will be taking over the company in whenever I retire.
Oh, so you took sibling rivalry to a whole new level, and now it'll be mother-daughter relationships.
Yeah. We get along great. Many people say she's a mini me, so we get along great, and we're spending a lot of time teaching her about the business, and she's been working for me now for 6 years, and she'll have several more years before I retire. So
when you pass the baton, she'll be more than ready.
Yeah. So we always say I'm done letting this hard drive to her hard drive, and that's what we have the process of doing.
Fantastic. Well, let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about how your membership in the Missouri Forest Products Association has impacted your business, if it has. Mm-hmm.
It's a little different for me because I actually have a foot in two different industries. I have to have my foot in the forest products industry, and then I also have to have my foot in the construction industry, because that's really what we're doing is we're building. But I'm using a wood product that I manufacture to do that. And so that's really interesting, comparing what's going on in the two different industries and seeing the differences in how the industries operate. But being part of the MFPA has been really great for our business. Not only have we been able to meet some really good people and people that we can buy products from, and then it helped us from a supply standpoint, but also we've learned from a lot of the members about some of the things that they do, whether it's equipment to measure board footage in bundles, or whether it's to learn how they are discussing their hiring and firing techniques or employee manuals. There's just a lot of information that we learn, and then being involved in being able to get some of the things done, like the MFPA booklet that was done on sequestration and things being able to help. It's really, I get great enjoyment from being able to help industries. I've been really active in the Log Home Council. I was president of twice. I've been real involved in the National Association of Home Builders. So I really see a lot of value coming from being part of an association.
This does not surprise me at all that you've been in leadership positions there. That's fantastic. It's probably very helpful to MFPA for you to be as involved as you are in other associations.
I bring a different approach, I think, to MFPA, because we deal with builders all the time. I'm so involved in that part of the business that I can bring what those people are looking for. I can bring that knowledge base to MFPA.
Fantastic. Are your log homes built out of Missouri logs?
Yes.
Exclusively?
Well, all
Or
of our
not-
oak logs
oak logs,
are, yes. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why we are in Missouri is because Missouri has a supply of oak that is not only plentiful, and as you probably know, we're growing 3 times more than we're cutting every year, and we need to cut more. But we have a very good base of a supply of our raw material. But also our oak here in Missouri is not as expensive as it is in other parts of the United States. I couldn't do what I do if we were based in Wisconsin or North Carolina or someplace else because the oak is just simply too expensive to be it'd be cost prohibitive to do so. So we are is it chicken or the egg relationship as far as are we in Missouri for the oak or is that we choose oak because we're in Missouri but I really feel that oak is by far the best wood to make log homes out of that is commercially available in the United States today. Oak is by far the best because it's strong, it's durable, it's going to last the longest. It's got natural resistant decay and insects. It's the prettiest in my opinion. Also, it's the most beautiful. But there's just a lot of advantages to oak. Now we do offer pine and cypress and cedar. The pine comes from the east, and the cypress comes from the south, and the cedar does come from Missouri also. Missouri red cedar, yes.
Great.
We just don't make as many of those. Most 90% of what we sell is all oak.
Oak. It's beautiful. I saw that Gastineau Log Homes have quite a few special features, like smart log wall systems. Tell me what that means.
Well, it's funny. I always say this was this industry started because of consumer demand. Most businesses start because somebody invents a better mousetrap and then they try to go out and sell it. Whereas this whole industry started because people wanted log homes. Nobody had been doing any R&D. Nobody had been doing any testing of log homes for 150 years. And when we're very honestly, we started doing this, nobody knew what the heck they were doing. We had no, and we didn't know if the industry was going to last. And very honestly, if it wasn't for some of the people like the Log Home Council that determined set up log grading and paid for all these studies that had to be done, the industry probably wouldn't have lasted. So we started doing it, and if you don't know if the industry is not going to last, you're not going to put a ton of money into manufacturing and R&D and these kinds of things. Well, by the early 90s, we realized that this was an ongoing industry, and we were committed to it, and we decided we're going to do our own R&D. So we went into some old log structures, and we cut out walls and sections, and we looked at the logs, and because I always say I don't make log homes. Mother Nature makes them. I just cut them. I can't change what Mother Nature is. I can't reformulate like you can with plastic or something. I can't reformulate it. I got to take what she gives us, and we have to deal with it and work around it. So we did a bunch of R&D, and we had several issues that we were trying to resolve and figure out why we're having these issues with our log homes. And we figured it out. And so we call that our smart log system because it's smart. It's not just something that looks like it should work. We know it really does work. And we've been doing that system since 1993, and we know it works. And it's a really good system. I have a constant drive for improvement in all of our products. And that is the one thing that we have really not changed since 1993 because it works.
You did the work. If it ain't broke, right?
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. I know. We get it. You've been sitting there, driving your car. Maybe you're running on a jog on a beautiful morning, listening to this podcast and thinking about building your log home. So we made it easy for you. Start your journey with us here at Gastineau Log Homes. Family owned, women led, and proudly crafting oak log homes since 1977. As the largest oak log home manufacturer in America, we're here to help bring your dream, big or small, to life. You can call our office at 573-896-5122 or swing by the National Model Home Center here in Kingdom City, Missouri, or even visit us online at oakloghome.com to get started, because your dreams never look so good. While you're listening to this podcast, did you find yourself loving or imagining the smell of sawdust or the thrill of closing a deal? Well, good, because we're hiring. From the mill to sales to design to even shipping, there's a place for you at Gastineau Log Homes. You can apply today at ogloghome.com/careers. If you've been enjoying the Acorn and Leaf podcast, do us a quick favor. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps more folks who love log home living find us and join the conversation, which is such an awesome community. And hey, if you love what we do here at Gastineau Log Homes, head over to Google and leave us a review there as well. It means the world to us and keeps the dream growing. Thanks for listening and for being part of the Gastineau family. Back to the show.
Tell me about the Thermalog siding. Is that an innovation?
Yeah, there's a couple of sidings that we manufacture, and one of the things is with a Thermalog siding, the advantage to it is that you could have full log corners. What that means is where the corners meet, you have logs that stick out, but it's still a siding, and it allows even for houses that are existing, if they want to make it look like a log home, they can put the siding on it and make it look. And that's always the telltale difference if you're looking at something that looks like a log home. If there's not logs sticking out on the corners, then it's probably siding. So
Seems
with
like that's cheating.
yeah, it's a log home wannabe. So but with a Thermalog siding, you can't tell that it's not a log home. We can build a frame house with log siding outside and log siding inside that you cannot tell is not log, unless you really can't tell by looking at it. You have to tear it apart.
Well, I'm guessing this next item on the Gastineau benefits list is a financial one, the Log Home Layaway Program.
Yeah, we have had that for many, many years, and it's really successful, and people love it. A lot of our customers are planning to build in the future. I mean, it's not uncommon at all for somebody to walk in our model home and say, we're planning to build again in 5 years or 3 years or whatever. So, and they need to get their blueprints started. They want to start planning, and they also want to lock in their price. So we developed this layaway plan where they can put down 10% of the package price, and then they make 1% per month payments. And then what that does is it holds the cost of their package for up to 3 years. Wow. They can take delivery anytime in 3 years. And when they're ready to take delivery, they just pay what the balance is. There's no interest. There's nothing. So every penny they pay goes toward the principal, going toward the package. People really like it, and it saves people a ton of money. It allows us to have planning. We know this because we have to plan our inventory. Allows us to get blueprints and things done. And sometimes the year we're maybe not as busy. So we've got a benefit to it as well. So it's a real win-win.
How long does it take to build a typical log home? Or is there such a thing as a typical log home?
Oh, we do not everything. Really. Yeah, we do everything from little 400 square foot cabins up to 6,000 square foot houses, 8,000 square foot houses. So it's all over the place. It's got a lot to do, just the complexity of the house. The average, I would say, from the time they put in there, after the foundation's put in and they put the package up, the average is 6 to 10 weeks. But as far as total construction time, most people are looking at about 6 to 9 months. So they're custom homes.
Yeah,
they're custom homes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay. So aside from all of those impressive features and the opportunities, if I were to purchase a log home, what makes log homes so special? You talked a little bit about that, but say more. Your face lights up when you talk about them. So tell us more.
Well, I think it's just I think the thing that makes me light up is all the people that have called me, because we've been in business for 47 and a half years.
You started when you were 2.
Yeah. That's what I tell people. It was a 4th grade science project. I had people that were retiring when they built. So I have people call me up now and they say, oh, we're going to put our house up for sale. We're going to move in with the kids. We're moving to assisted living or whatever it is. And they said, they'll just tell me, I want to tell you how much we loved our home, all the memories we've made in our house and all the fun we've had and how it just breaks our heart to leave it. And not too many people can end their business career knowing that they've done something good for that many people. We've got over 5,000 houses out there in all 50 states and 12 countries. So, I mean, it's the fact that we've got them everywhere. It's just really, really rewarding. And so I in my later years of life, that means a lot more to me now than it probably did when I was 30 years old. But anyway, it's very, very rewarding. And the fact that these houses are going to be here for hundreds of years, long time after I'm gone, these houses are still going to be able to be enjoyed by people. And one of the things I think I love about log homes too is that I've seen log homes that have been really abused. I mean, they've not been taken care of, and they just hang in there. I mean, they can always be fixed. What would that look
like? What would be abuse of?
Well, the things like they have not stained the exterior. They've just put no finish on it. They've not protected the woods in any way, shape, or form. They may have had really poor drainage. They may have let ground cover grow up the side of the house. All different kinds of things like that.
But even that.
And they
can withstand.
Yeah, they still withstand it. It's like Mother Nature still standing there. It's just really cool. And you can fix them. It's just like hardwood floors. Hardwood floors get banged up, and you can sand them down and finish them and do it again. The same thing with a log home. If it gets banged up, you can just fix it and go on. So, there's a whole industry where they take 150, 175-year-old log homes, and they tear them down and they build them into new homes. And a majority of those houses are oak. 95% of them, they're oak. They're the ones that can naturally withstand the elements without treatments and that kind of thing. So I think that's a testament to the longevity of the houses.
You talk about the warmth, the beauty, the better for the environment. You just have it, and it's lasting for generations. I would imagine that you have a lot of customers or clients who hand that, if they don't move out themselves or move into assisted living, they say that my grandkids are loving this house you built for us generations ago.
Yes. We've had a lot of people that have built a home and they put it into a family trust, and to be passed down to the family for a year. Right now we have I think it's such a cool story. It's 4 siblings, and their grandpa bought a piece of property, like 2 miles from the entrance to Yellowstone National Park.
Oh, wow.
Like 50 years ago, and these 4 kids are going to build a really large family home on that property. All 4 of them are chipping in money. They're all 4 going to build it themselves together, and it's going to be a family keepsake for them. And I just think that's just, those kind of stories are just, we hear them all the time, and it's just so cool.
Will that be a Gastineau Log Home?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we've designed the house.
Tell a story.
Yeah. We designed the house for them, and they've multiple changes, and actually we're doing structural analysis on it right now because it's got a 128-pound snow load, and we're getting ready to do the final blueprints, and it's going to ship this summer.
Wow. Talk about location.
No kidding.
Right outside of Yellowstone.
We do that. We had a lot of people have property has been in the family for 3 generations and that kind of thing. And when you know how important the house is when they're choose you to build their home on that property, because they're never going to sell it. It's and being involved in those things is really, really, really fun.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, I heard that you all have your own podcast called the Acorn and Leaf Podcast. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yes, we've had 1 season. The second season starts this month. The first season, we were 12 episodes. We were just kind of learning how to do this. We're not professional speakers. And we talked to, I interviewed mostly just employees in the company about what they do and their job and their experiences. And then the second season, we are going to be talking to people in the industry. We're going to talk to builders. We're talking to Paul Peebles from Sashco, which is talking about maintenance on log homes. We'll just got a whole bunch of people in the construction industry that we're going to be talking to.
In the queue for future podcasts.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We'll tune in.
Yes.
So what's been the most satisfying project you've worked on in recent memory? I'm guessing the Yellowstone one will be a one to look forward to, but looking
they're
back.
all, it's, I think it's just finding the people that really, this is their dream that they've had for so long. I mean, I have to say this one. There was a gentleman that bought a house from us. This is probably 25 years ago, and his wife had passed away, and the house was up in northeast Missouri, and he built this home, and it was a 2-story home, and he built the entire home by himself. Nobody did anything on that house. He built the entire house, and it took him 3 years. So we were dealing with the gentleman for a long time and helping him, and we give a lot of construction advice, and so we do a lot of hand holding as people, especially people are building it themselves. And anyway, so it was a couple of years after he finished, and his daughter stopped at our office, and she told me, she said, Lynn, she said, I wanted to thank you first off, for being so nice and taking care of my dad. But secondly, the most important thing is, if it hadn't been for that house, he would have died, because he was missing my mother so much, and said that gave him something to do every day. And so every day he went out to that house and worked on that house. And he'd always wanted a log home, and she didn't want to live out in the country. But she said that gave him a purpose in life. And so she said it saved his life.
Wow, that is a great story.
That was my favorites.
Yeah,
yes.
I love it. On the flip side, has 2025 brought any unique challenges? Talk about the current market for log homes, or
we are really
climate.
We are really, really busy. Interest rates have gone up, but a lot of our people, this is their last home they're building. So it's not a first-time home buyer market typically, although we do have some. But it's people typically are usually selling their home, and so they've got a lot of equity to use. So the interest rates don't affect us as much. Tariffs don't affect us as much, because we don't use that much framing lumber. Your 2x4s, we're only using small number for our partition walls. We do use 2x10s for rafters and floor joists, but that's really about it. So very little of our products are coming in from overseas. So that doesn't affect us very much at all. And people are, especially after the pandemic, people used to think about moving into downtown areas like downtown St. Louis and living someplace they could walk to places. And now people are afraid to do that. And people, if they want to have a place in the country that they can go to in case they need it. I think people have a lot of concerns that there will be another pandemic at some time, so they want to be prepared this time, because and so I think that has a little bit to do with it. And
so intentionally or not, you're isolated from some of the challenges that have come since the pandemic. Yes. Interesting.
And not having reliance on overseas products. I mean, we
right.
It's an American-made product. So the only thing that we get our screws that we use to screw the logs together, those come from China. And in January, we bought up a whole bunch of them. So we were prepared, because if we don't have our screws, you can't build anything. We've got to have these screws. So we prepared ourselves for that.
You may be women, but you're Boy Scouts. You're prepared.
Being prepared. Yes.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's talk about legacy for a second. What legacy do you hope to leave for future generations, for your company and for your family?
Well, I think that legacy's like two different things. First off, there's a physical legacy. And I think the physical legacy is all the homes we'll have out there. And I said, October 1st of 2027, I'm going to retire. And that's our 50th anniversary. And so I said 50 years at the same job is long enough. But what I'm planning on doing is, a lot of people buy an RV and travel around and see the United States. I want to buy an RV and travel around and see all the houses that we built. So that's my retirement plan, is I want to take a video camera and go out and see people and video their houses and talk to them. And I think that would be so much fun.
What a great field trip. Will you turn it into a book or a photo? That would make for a fantastic book.
Yeah. Well, I'm writing a book right now, believe it or not. But I think it would be, it's just really fun to share those stories with our prospective customers, and not a professional presentation of any sort like you folks do, but to be able to do that. So I think the legacy is all the houses we have out there, and the houses will stay. I mean, the houses are going to be there, like I said, for a long time, and so that's going to be an ongoing legacy. The non-physical legacy, I think, is the leaving a business that is going to go on and prosper for years. and to meet the housing demand of the future. And my daughter also loves housing. She's as obsessed with it as I am. So, and learning to adjust to whatever's going on in the housing industry and as it changes, and leaving just leaving something that is going to last past me, So it's more important as you get older. You think about these things, but something's going to be around when I'm gone. And my youngest grandson had told his mother that he said, "Mommy, when I grow up, I'm going to build log homes." And she said, "Oh, okay." And he said, "But can I change the name to Schmidt Log Homes?"
Maybe hyphenate it. You've invested a lot in that Gastineau reputation.
Yes, yeah. I don't think so. And that's another legacy, is the reputation. We've got an excellent reputation. I always get a kick out of it whenever I see on one of some site they say they've got a property in a Gastineau Log Home for sale, because it means it's quality.
Something.
It means quality, and so they want to distinguish it from some of the others. And I'm very proud of that also.
Fantastic. Oh, 50 years. Well, you still have a ways to go. Promise when your book is ready, you will come back and be on Real Wood Matters again. So is it fiction, nonfiction?
No. I'm writing a book on, there's books out there on log homes. I'm writing a book on how to prepare for building a log home, all the steps ahead of time. I actually do a presentation on this at the log home shows, and I've decided to just take it and put it into a book form that we can share with our prospects. And it has all of the things such as how to find land, the financing process, how to design your home, what to look for.
There's that R&D again. You are you're encouraging people to do their work, but you're doing a little bit of it for them.
Well, building a house is a stressful situation. Mm. And I want people to have fun when they build their house. And so the way you have fun is if you plan it before you start construction. And too many times people wait till they start construction, then they start making decisions, they get overwhelmed with the decisions. So if you can make those decisions ahead of time, then the construction's a breeze, and it makes it a lot less stressful.
Well, I bet a lot of people out there are going to want to get their hands on your book.
Well, they'll have to call us, because we're not putting it on Amazon.
That's smart.
We're just going to hand it out to our people that we talk to and give it to them. So,
well, Lynn, you are an inspiration, a delight. Thank you so much. That's all for today's episode. But again, thank you to our guest, Lynn Gastineau, and thank you to our sponsor, Choose Wood. And thank you for listening. As always, choose wood.